Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are self-esteem group. Consists of me, Nuri Nuriani, as the first speaker. Dwi Hartatiningsi as the second speaker. Susilawati as the third speaker, and the fourth speaker is Tri Widyoko. Our group presentations will cover 8 points. The first point is introductions, and then affective domains and language learning, and then negative self-concepts, and then the definitions of self-esteem, the importance of self-esteem, richness model of self-esteem, and the last one is the implication for teaching. Okay, in language teachings, we come to the questions. Why English is hard to learn? Maybe so many things make learning English difficult and confusing. It can be grammar structure, its spellings, meaning itself, and rules, or many other things. English is considered as the new language in some countries in the world. While learning a new language is complicated and takes time to learn, it needs a lot of exposures and practicing, because actually exposures and practice are the keys to success. Practice leads to perfection, and comments on the language, and exposure helps to use language in different contexts. But in fact, students sometimes have less opportunity in doing this because of many factors, and sometimes students are reluctant to practice. And then learning for years but cannot gain fluency makes students frustrated. It is the facts in our country, for example, that many students get unmotivated and get frustrated in the classrooms or in learning English. It can be because of the teachers, maybe the students themselves, or many other factors. And then effective teaching and learning are demanded to make students learn faster, and in fact, it is hard to get. Sometimes teaching and learning are conveyed ineffectively. Many factors can be the causes. It can be also from the teachers, from the students, or many other factors. And last one is unsupportive learning environments can inhibit students' learning. If they are mocked as making mistakes, they can lose self-esteem and motivations to learn. It can cause failures on certain subjects, and even worse, students might reject to learn. So, the reasons of students' failure are not always lacking of intelligence, but more to mental blocks such as self-esteem and motivations issues. The third is, during language exposures and practicing, self-esteem and motivations are needed. And then the next point says affective domains. Affectivity is a stimulus for actions, a monitor and control of cognitive processing. Therefore, if the affective domains is not working, the cognitive activities will not run, knowledge will not be processed well, and it will be difficult for learners to learn. Basically, in humans, there are two kinds of brains. The emotional brains, which related to affective domains, and thinking brains, which related to cognitive domains. The emotional and thinking brains are inseparable. They are connected but and support each other. The affective and cognitive domains determine someone successful in learning foreign language. Okay, I think that's all for from my presentations. The next presentation will be delivered by Mbak Dwi Hartatiningsih. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Dwi the second presenter of this group. I will continue the presentation from the first part, that is Nuri Nuriani. Here I will explain about affective domain and language learning. Affect is an intrinsic motivator. It is stated by Rodriguez, Flax, and Kenny in 1996 on page 297. It is hard to study without motivation. In this case, the effect can be positive or negative to motivate or ruin motivation. Positive effect can bring success in learning language, and negative effect can cause failure. Oral communication in the foreign language is anxiety provoking and associated with low self-esteem. Horwitz et al. In 1991, Mikrowski et al. 1977. The success of language learning depends less on materials, techniques, and linguistic analysis, and more on what goes on inside and between people in the classroom. Stefik in 1980, page 4. Speaking becomes the uneasiest subject for students who worry about making mistakes and judged by their peers and teachers. If we concern on what goes on inside and between people in the classroom, we need to provide conducive and supportive learning environment to help learners lessening their affective filter. The higher the filter, the more difficult students to learn. Negative self-concept. The enemies of self-esteem in the classroom are labeling, criticism, sarcasm, put-down, comparisons, and evaluating the person rather than the behavior. Hoffman in 1999. The perception one has observed significantly affect attitude, behavior, evaluation, and cognitive process. Mikrowski et al. In 1997, 269. What learners think about themselves determine their self-esteem, boosts or ruin their motivation. What we think sometimes influenced by the environment. If students treat badly like in class, as teachers and peers label them, hard criticize, being sarcastic, and compare students to their competent friends, it might put learners' self-esteem to the lowest level that will cause them fail in the class. It is important to help students change negative mental concepts about themselves. It helps lowering their affective filter. If not, their cognitive process will not work optimally. Okay friends, that's it my presentation. The next will be presented by our friend Susilawati. For Susilawati, time is yours. Thank you for your attention. I close. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you for the chance for me to explanation about the definition of self-esteem. As we know that in short, self-esteem is a personal judgment of worthiness that is expressed in the attitude that individuals hold toward themselves. And self-esteem defined as a feeling meaningful and worthy as human, have something inside, feel the pride, how we can appreciate ourselves, the weaknesses and the strengths. In learning context, self-esteem is an outcome of learning achievement. It can be reached through the development of competence. There are three parts of the self-esteem definition. The first one is the competence of worthiness. The second one is cognition and effects. The third one is stability and openness. And the development of competence will grow the sense of worthiness that refers to the self-esteem. Self-esteem will smooth the process of the cognition and affect that lead to the stability of skill often or receiving to knowledge or lesson, the continuity of learning and open for changing. And for the sixth is, I would like to explain about the importance of self-esteem. If the classroom atmosphere is not supported, it will be much more difficult for students to communicate. If we correct student error in unsensitive manner, students will perceive themselves worthy or lack of ability and they may become unwilling to try again. The fear of judgment, making mistake and unable to express their language fluently can confine student language exposure, lower their self-esteem and cause them less motivation to learn. Supportive learning environment can lessen student anxiety and arouse motivation. And there are boosting self-esteem artificially by giving students an objective and inaccurate evaluation of their competence will develop unhealthy self-esteem. If we try to make students happy without giving them enough skill, it means that we develop unhealthy or fake self-esteem for our students. Then we need to grow a healthy self-esteem through the developing positive beliefs about themselves and abilities with commitment and growing the sense of responsibility. That's all about my presentation, and the next will be explained by the resonance model of self-esteem by my friend. Thank you very much.
Well, this is my turn. It is about reasons model of self-esteem. There are two crucial parts here. The first is we can use a model from Robert related to the self-esteem model. It consists of 5 components. The first one is security, identity, belonging, purpose, and competence. The first one is security. In this part, establishing respectful environment to make students feel safe with clear rules, encouraging in a consistent manner without intimidating or degrading. Grow the sense of responsibility through behaviors and fulfillment of tasks. It is because we want to accommodate students with language skill and rich competence before self-esteem. And the second one is identity. It is develop a sense of personal worth, accept and value their unique strengths and weakness, so they can value the uniqueness of others. Do not give empty praise. Praise is earned through the effort or fulfillment of tasks. Next is belonging. To feel accepted and supported by others. To feel that they are a part of a group. Provide opportunity for students to connect or bond with others and being cooperative with others. Another good point, it is to learn together. That means they can learn more from others. The fourth is purpose. Strengthen students' value to feel what they are doing have meaning and purpose. Focus on achieving specific goals. Create vision of what they want and what kind of person they wish to become. Next is ask them to think what the most important thing to achieve and the advantages from them. For example, I want to be able to write well in English because writing is my hobby and I want to be a professional writer someday. It is a part of purpose. And the last is competence. As we know, competence result in self-esteem. And to grow the sense of personal competence, the efforts to make it happen include providing encouragement, support, and constructive feedback. We come to the implication for teaching. The The first one is we need to provide a conducive and supportive learning atmosphere to develop self-esteem, of course. And then to motivate students and make learning new language more effective and faster. The second one is we should develop a healthy self-esteem in the classroom. We can develop it by accommodating students with skills and competence. Okay, that's all of my part. Thank you very much for nice attention. I close by saying Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.